Okay, we're back again. I had some network issues there, uh, and I just kind of kept building and ignored them because nobody is actually watching the stream, so I didn't really care. Anyways,
Straight through. Cut through the paper, don't worry, we can always tape it down. And we're going to notice that the snout is nice and clean.
I should do this better. There we go. Look at that little front canopy thing. Very nice.
We got our windshield and our front cowling. We're going to do this one section at a time, so we're going to open this up. I'm going to paste a nice bead of glue on the top surface here. And I'm only going to put glue, splitting the difference on the first section. Anytime, like I said, that we can use the table as our friend, instead of holding it with our fingers, the less burnt we're going to be, and the better the fit's going to be. So we're going to get it down general position. We're going to take it to the edge of the table, and we're going to press it down. Give it about 30 to 40 seconds. If you're worried that you may have hot glued it, just move it over. So our windshield's now done. We're going to go ahead and lift this up 90 degrees.
Using the table as my friend. Tables are friends. I'm gonna take this mic off my neck because I feel like it's very ineffective there. I'm just gonna set it right there. So hopefully it still works well. Oops, somebody's on. Hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm holding this airplane together. I just had some network issues, so I had to cut it and then try and get back on. So I'm back on. Hello. Thanks for joining. Should be good. Alright, so now I got this part.
Nice healthy bead of glue right in between the foam and the paper. Carefully move it back down. A little bit of pressure. Right up against the table again.
Feel free to hang out and say hi in the chat or whatever. Mainly because I'm bored, so I don't really actually care if you talk, but it'd be entertaining. Yo, dude, what's up? How you doing? It's been a minute. Let's go, bro. That's good. How's your channel doing? I haven't checked on it in a while. I'm building an airplane here. So this is the fuselage. It's like the body. And I did a stream last night. These are the wings that I built on that stream. Gotta step back a little bit. And I also built this Power pod. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Does my mic sound good? Because like I have it over here on the table instead of on my shirt. So I don't really know how good it actually sounds. I think it sounds fine, but I can't really tell. Thanks. Yeah, it's from a kit, so it's not like sweet, thanks. It's from a kit, so it's not like I designed and built an airplane, but it's still pretty fun. Makes a piece of paper sticking up. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bloop, a little bloop. Yeah. So how you been? What have you been up to? Bro, no way. Honestly, it probably wouldn't have mattered either way because we moved to Arkansas. So yeah. Get that guy off there. Get that guy off there. Yeah. Hot and humid. But good. I've got like the instructions on my phone, so that's what this is.
Can easily be scraped off later. I usually count it about 20 seconds, and I'll simply just relocate it to a different part of the table. Later, I go back with a flat blade or a scraper and scrape it right off. The good thing about when you see the glue squeeze out just a little bit, it means you're losing extra weight, but every square inch of that paper is now being adhered and giving more strength and fit. Okay, the last portion on our fuselage that we're going to put our attention to is going to be the front cowling area right here.
Hello, Pookie324. Yeah, it is fixed.
Now you can choose to cut this off short, but one thing I wanted to give you the opportunity to do is be able to seal this whole edge with this nice brown paper on the outside here. So we're going to be doing a little bit of bending, a little bit of fitting. If this gets frustrating for you or it rips, don't worry about it. It's only for looks. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put some glue down and do our fold over. Against the table, count to 10. Place it back down to our sacrificial area of our table. Fold it over. Now, if you're married and you want to stay happily married, do not do this on the kitchen or the dining room table.
Well, luckily for you, Josh Bixler, I am not married, so suck it. Yee! So what y'all do today? What's Dollywood? I think I asked that last stream when you were on here, but I'm going to go ahead and look it up real quick. Let's see here. Dollywood. All right, that's dry now. Dollywood. Oh, it's a big theme park. Neat. Okay, so it's got like roller coasters and other nefarious attractions like that honestly don't interest me. But that's cool. Glad you got to go do that.
Choose a workbench or a nice flat piece of wood or put some covering down. So we're going to go ahead and test fit this area right where the doubler begins. So
got to flip this upside down.
We're this nice open cavity right here. I'm going to very delicately bend this down. So what I'm doing right now is I'm slightly just shaping this with my fingers, just putting a really gentle bend on the foam. The better we can match this contour, the less work we're going to have to do. There we go. That's good. Alright, so I'm going to go to the point where this...
Yo, 3 viewers, let's go. Welcome to the stream. We're building the flight test simple cub. Oh, back down to 1. RIP. Womp womp. Did Art and Chill leave? Oh, so my viewer count is very inaccurate.
Let's put our glue down now. You notice I'm going to put some glue here, but before that, I want to get some really good glue on this doubler. So I'll put a nice healthy bead of glue on this doubler here, bead of glue on this doubler here. If we're belly landing or we're hitting the plane hard against the ground, this is going to give us a lot of strength. Right back, we're going to stop right about here. Stop right about here. There we go.
Well, he's got himself a little gap there. I'm glad I noticed. Wait, does he leave it there? Does he leave that gap?
There we go. Same process before. You notice I'm going down 10 seconds, going right back up. The only difference is I'm kind of squeezing it on both sides, making sure that both cheeks are nice and flush against the top here. Right back down, right back up.
I want to see that bottom part again because I don't really know if he left a gap there or not.
Beautiful fit.
Yeah,
right
he did.
Here. We're going to go and continue this on. Right.
How big is that gap? Oh, I think I see where it's supposed to be. Oh, yep. Okay, I think I get it. Neat. Oh, back up to 3 again. We'll see if they stay. Yeah. Thanks, Art and Chill. Sleep good. Thanks for joining. Gotta go fast. We hold it here. You rotate. Oh man, this is gonna be tricky. Okay, we're just gonna hold that with our fingers, like a genius. Okay, so I did go a little bit too far. But that's fine. We're just gonna have to be a little careful with it now, and hopefully everything sticks okay. Looks like it's doing fine. I'll have to. It's fine. I'm fine. Totally fine. I don't know why my voice is all high pitched like this, but I'm fine. Yeah, no, seriously though, it's fine. It's all fine until it's not, and then it's not fine. But we don't talk about when it's not fine. All right, next up. Next up, please.
Bend this around to the point where it hits this front area right here. We're gonna push down just really quick.
So this is the body of the plane, the main body. Right now I'm working on the nose area. This is where the motor's gonna go. So that's what that is.
That's gonna be the portion that we cut this off. So cut that off right there. Because every scratch build, every model is going to be just a little bit different. It's always nice to have a little bit excess, and you can do a nice, perfect fit. Now we're actually going to come out and remove this back off here, but it's a lot easier to work with this paper with this portion on. So now we're going to favor the immediately on the paper for this last section.
I keep forgetting to pause the video while I'm working on stuff, but then I realize he's like 3 steps ahead of me. There we go. All right, then we do this side as well. Take here, we go down here, we do a little snip, snip. Oh, crap, I can't see. There we go. Snip, snip. I kind of wish I had a pair of scissors. I feel like that would make this a little easier, but you know what? Womp womp. Liza. Whoever has my bike, I will find you. Give it back now, or face the repercussions. Oh wait, you get it. You guys probably don't know what I'm talking about. Oh man, come on! Why does my glue gun keep turning off, dude? That's unacceptable. Here, well, while I'm waiting for my glue gun to heat back up, I might as well show you the clip because I find it too funny to not show people. Give me just a second. And it's funny, I can watch my own live stream, but I'm not going to do that because it's terrible. My sibling is giving me an odd look. Anyways, here, so it's not going to be the greatest quality ever, but yeah, you know what? Just go look it up. It's Garrett the Carrot Reaper cushions. It's hilarious. I'm not going to show you through the computer because that just gonna ruin it. Anyways,
Just to make the process a little bit easier. Back to the table. Fold it over. And in this case, we'll take it down to the table here. Press it down firmly. Now, just because this plane is a simple fly and a simple build doesn't mean it doesn't have to look fantastic too. As I said before, you could simply just cut this off straight here and leave this part exposed. But this extra little step is going to teach you how to mold foam. It's also going to be a really great tool to keep this nice and sealed and give your plane more longevity.
outside your hotel? That's crazy. That's terrible. Honestly, though, if it's in Tennessee, that does make a lot of sense. They like their fireworks over there. And this joint here is very odd. It's a silly little guy. They're shaking the building. That sucks. Sorry. Wait a minute. I'm not lighting them out. I need to be sorry. I want to dry. It's such a small glue gun. It shouldn't take that long to dry. But it somehow does. That's probably long enough, right? Yeah. Yeah. So that little diagonal piece that's slightly off is going to bug me for the rest of my life, but it would be totally fine. Because we do not actually care that much, because it's not.
Okay, so we have a nice molded nose here.
Yeah.
Power pot's going to go in here.
It's not.
So our last step here, so take your razor blade, just slide it right to the edge here. Cut out this section that you see here.
Huh.
There's one.
Oh, that sucks. Okay, so really quick, I want you to take a look at this beautiful work that I just did right here. I just had to put those strips on, you see? Now I'm supposed to cut them off. So that's mildly infuriating. Womp womp. Yeah.
There's two. In this portion of the build, we're going to show you how to install the tail, your push rods, control horns, your servos, and cycle the whole system. To prepare our tail sections, we're first going to go ahead and do a single bevel on both the elevator and the rudder. Now, start on the elevator. We're going to go ahead and pull this over 180 degrees. And typically, we put our bevel on the side that moves, which would be the elevator. Instead, we're going to put our single bevel on the stabilizer because there's a little bit more meat here. Once again, holding at the acute angle, making sure your razor blade
Doing a bevel cut.
We're going to go ahead and make sure that we can raise this up and that we have no resistance for at least 16 degrees. If you have resistance, all you need to do is simply go back again and get a little bit closer to the paper in the center. Don't worry if it doesn't look perfect. As long as it bends freely, you're just fine.
I don't know what 6 to 10 degrees look like. I'm assuming this is a little bit more than that, though.
So this time, we're going to put our bevel on the rudder, not the fin. Single bevel. I'm holding this in the air just for the courtesy of the camera, but it's much easier if you take this down to the table. Nice clean movement on both portions. Now we really want this plane to last a long time for you, and we don't want delamination. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this up, and reveal this cavity right here. We're going to go ahead and keep a scrap piece of foam that you see right here next to it. We're going to put a thin ribbon of glue.
Gotta throw this trash away. Yeah, what's going on?
As we put this glue down, we're going to come back with a scrap piece of foam, and we're going to go ahead and scrape all the excess off. What we're doing.
Yeah, we're doing this thing. It's there now. Can this move? I think that's how far it's supposed to move. It's fine. Hot. Ooh, it's hot. What's next, Bixler?
What we're doing is we're actually pushing the hot glue down into both the foam and the paper, and we're fusing it all together. This is going to make a nice hot glue reinforcement hinge, and it's going to make this pin last for a very long time. Same process on the back here. Grab a different piece of scrap foam. Put the nozzle right down the center of the paper, super thin beaded glue. Remember, everything you put on, you're pretty much going to take off. And we're going to scrape off the excess. Scrape off the excess. You're going to notice I didn't close these up. I want these to dry nice and thoroughly before we go ahead and close them. It's a little tacky. It's possible I could glue them shut. So once we're done, you can see it moves nice and easy. We're now ready to go ahead and install this onto our airplane. We're going to go ahead and take our fuselage back in the picture. And if you haven't done already, go ahead and remove these little cavities that you see here. You want the top cavities open, and you want both the horizontal cavities on both sides of the fuselage open. I'm going to pull up a little rudder control function. Now,
Get out of my airplane. I feel like this would be more fun with more people watching this, but at the same time, then I'd have to be concentrating like on the chat and not my airplane.
now with the hinge line facing down towards the table and our fuselage facing upright, we're going to go ahead and slide this in for a test spin. If you rock it nice and carefully, you're going to notice the two front tabs are going to face the front. And then we're going to line up the center tab, center here. One thing I like to do just to check for square is I like to put the spot on the table, and I like to make sure that the edges of the foam are the same height on both sides. Once you're happy with the alignment, you're happy with the center line, go ahead and take a nice thin bead of glue. I like the front tabs, we're going to engage the front, and then we're going to line up the center tab, center here. One thing I like to do just to check for square is I like to put the spot on the table, and I like to make sure that the edges of the foam are the same height on both sides. Once you're happy with the alignment, you're happy with the center line, go ahead and take a nice thin bead of glue and lock your tail down. It doesn't take too much, and we're going to come right back with a scrap piece of foam and we'll wipe off the excess. The exact same process on the bottom side.
Just really quick, I'm going to try something. Should help us get it a little bit more square. I'm gonna take. Never mind, I'm not gonna do it with that piece. I'm gonna do it with this piece. I'm gonna take. I think it's still off a little bit. There we go. I guess now take this piece. To this piece. Nice thin bead of glue. And then we take this piece, do a nice little now we go ahead and look at it. Make sure that it's all nice and straight. That side's a little too far down, so I'm gonna bend it a little bit. Yep. And now we wait again. So next step, please.
Now we're going to go ahead and put our attention towards the rudder. First thing I'm going to do on the rudder is I'm just going to pinch this front end here just to kind of make it pointy. This is going to make it even easier to slide it in and line everything up. Holding the plane on its nose, I'm going to slide the back tap in first. And engage the front, and then drop it down in. So we want to make sure we have a nice clean fit where the rudder meets the fuselage. We're also laying this flat on the table.
That look clean?
Doing the best we can. We're going to go ahead and line this
I
up.
think that's
Make sure it
clean.
looks nice and square.
Looks pretty clean to me. Yeah? Okay, cool.
Put on the elevator and just make sure the distance is parallel with the fin. Same process as before, lock it down with some glue. Both sides. Push that excess right into the fin.
Hold up.
Parallel. We're also going to lay this flat on the table. We're doing the best we can. We're going to go ahead and line this up and make sure it looks nice and square. You can even put it on the elevator and just make sure the distance is parallel.
Yes, that's on there. Okay, so we'll have to finagle a little bit to get it straight, but it's totally fine.
Before, lock it down with some glue. Both sides. Push that excess right into the fin. And while the top half is drying, you can go ahead and put a little bit of glue on the very back.
Oh man, that's fine. Cool balls.
Kind of push my hot glue gun in there and squeegee it out. We're going to let this dry for about 45 seconds.
Yeah. Thanks. I think so too. I think my fuselage is just a tiny bit crooked, but that's just gonna happen with like pretty much everything that I build. It's always gonna be a little crooked. It's fine. So there we go. All right. Next.
Now that our tail assembly is done, we're going to go ahead and put our attention into the servos, push rods, and control horns. First thing we want to do is go ahead and guide our push rods through the fuselage itself. To do that, we're just going to go ahead and take our push rod, rub this back and forth, just kind of loosen the resistance here.
Hey, I finally get to get into this bag that's been sitting down here. Yay. Oh. So usually for my push rods, I have like this crappy like copper welding wire. Just because it's wire and it kind of works, but it's super thin and floppy. This stuff's also thin and floppy, but it's so much more rigid and it's so much nicer. So I love it when I get a new kit because I get to use the nice steel wire again and it feels so good. Anyways.
So we're going to guide it on through. The push rod is just going to hang here, and don't worry, it's very easy to grab. Once our push rod is slid through, we're going to go ahead and take our control horn and go into the furthest out hole. We're going to go ahead and simply slip this on.
I should probably bring this bag up here so I'm not having to keep going down there. Come on. Come out of the bag. Come out of the bag. Come out of the bag. Oh, almost lost the zip tie. That would have not been great. All right.
Little twisting motion is all you need, and shed very little slop. That way, go ahead and line this up with the slot in our elevator. A little rocking motion, it'll pop right down in there. Once we're happy with the fit, we'll come back with our hot glue, put the bead down, and press it in place. Line this up with the slot in our elevator. The push rod is just going to hang here, and don't worry, it's very easy to grab. Once our push rod is slid through, we're going to go ahead and take our control horn and go into the furthest out hole. We're going to go ahead and simply slip this on. Little twisting motion is all you need, and shed very little slop. Now we're going to go ahead and line this up with the slot in our elevator. A little rocking motion, it'll pop right down in there. Once we're happy with the fit, we'll come back with our hot glue, put the bead down, and press it into place. Little glue's going to squeeze through the back. Go ahead and just wipe that off with a scrap piece of foam. Now let this dry thoroughly for at least a minute to a minute and a half. This is your control link, so if you lose your control link, you're going to lose your control of your airplane. So let it dry thoroughly and make sure it's strong. We're going to do the exact same process on the other side.
Hot. Hot glue is hot. And now we wait. Honestly, I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know. Very, very intriguing. What a thought-provoking. Yeah. Next piece.
Pass our push rod through. Non-zip end first. Take your control horn, furthest out hole. You are going to receive 4 control horns. So that way, later on, if you want to do the aileron mod, you're easily able to do so. So rocking motion. Press it in place. Make sure you have full deflection. You're going to notice when you press this into place, you want your poles to line up perfectly with your hinge line. That's going to give you equal deflection.
Stop. Keep unintentionally stabbing things in front of my plane. There we go. Yeah. Come on. I don't really have my camera set up well, so you guys really can't see what I'm doing. There we go. That's a little better. Now, of course, I'm going to move again to make it harder for you guys to see. So now we slide this guy in. Ba-dunk. Yeah. Hot glue. Oh dear, my gun slipped like twice, and so now there's a few little blobs. Globulations, as Alex would call it. Ah! Hot. Beautiful. Looks like our elevator. So this is, yeah, look at that. That's nice and dry. Moves nice and smooth. Whee! Sometimes. All right, what's the next step?
Action both directions. Little hot glue.
Hot glue.
Press it in. Once again, we're going to leave this for about a minute to a minute and a half to let it thoroughly dry. Now for this next step, we're going to go ahead and slide our power pod in because we're going to be gluing the servos down. But what we don't want to do is glue the servos down so low that our power pod is going to be obstructed. So we're going to go ahead and slide this on in. You're going to notice that it slides in just like a ring.
So yesterday when I was building this, he had me tape all of this stuff onto the bottom in this weird way. But now it's looking like he's got all of it on the inside of like in here. So I'm gonna have to untape everything and redo it the way that I think it's supposed to be. Yay. Untapify. Yeah, womp womp. It's whatever. I think it was mainly there just to kind of hold that stuff in place so it's not flopping around a ton while I'm working on it. Come on, tape. Dang, it's already almost 9:30. I'm probably gonna end the stream in another like 20 minutes. Didn't realize it was that late.
The rail and even stops at the proper point. Now both of our servos are going to be mounted, and the nice thing about this
Oh, the lag is crazy.
Once again, we're going to leave this for about a minute to a minute and a half to let it thoroughly dry. Now for this next step, we're going to go ahead and slide our power pod in because we're going to be gluing the servos down. But what we don't want to do is glue the servos down so low that our power pod is going to be obstructed. So we're going to go ahead and slide this on in.
I'm trying to think of a way to do this so I don't have to glue down my ESC and so that it's like just kind of nice and sits there. No. Yeah, tape works, but like I kind of want to make it so it sits in here without flopping around at all, but so I don't have to glue it. Here, we're gonna just go ahead and unplug this right now. Pull these wires back in here. Plug it back in. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try. No, that ain't gonna work. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna shove this through here. I'm gonna do it the other way though, inverted right now. And I'm gonna pull that back out. And then go back through the other way. There we go. Look at that. Now it hangs out the front where I want it. If I really need to, I can stick it back in the other way. But I don't think I will need to. Perfect. All right, we're gonna. Should I just hot glue this down? Yeah, I'm gonna hot glue it down. Just a little dab of hot glue. I'll hold it there for a sec. Like it good and dry. Oh dang it! Now I gotta recheck and make sure that my motor's spinning the right way. It's supposed to spin that way. So. Anyways. Grab our battery. Oh, wait, whoops. You gotta plug it into my receiver first. And then plug in my battery. Cool. So now you're just gonna okay, so it's going that way, and that's the right direction. So we good. Anyways. Just gonna unplug this guy. And now we finally get to the step that I was actually on. Anyways, now we continue.
You're going to notice that it slides just like a rail and even stops at the copper point.
That's neat.
Now both of our servos are going to be mounted, and the nice thing about this kit
is
to keep it simple. There is no cutting on these push rods. All we have to do is put a Z-bin on the very end. We're going to go ahead and mount our servos high up on the wing, like you see here. Now you can mount the servos pointing upwards or downwards, but if you leave them pointing up, there's a good chance you're not going to have to do any reversing on your Spectrum radio. So our first step is to grab the very end of our control rod.
Okay, well I'm gonna be where'd it go? Where'd this go? There they are. All right, so we got this nice little bag of linkage stoppers, so I don't have to do all this bendy stuff. I will have to cut these wires though, because they're a little bit too long. And I might just, yeah, we're just gonna do this. Yeah, I'm 100% cutting these because they're too long, but.
We do sell Z benders if you need. We're going to bend down 90 degrees. I'm just going to use a piece of wood, scrap. That way I don't push it with my finger. And we're going to rotate 90 degrees. This is called a modified Z-bend. The nice thing about this is you can actually rotate this up and switch holes throughout your control linkage. Before we glue this down, I'm going to go ahead and scratch up the back surface here because we don't want to glue to a shiny, smooth surface. You can use a razor blade or you can use rough grit sandpaper. Just rough up the surface so the hot glue has something to bite. If you have to remove the sticker, make sure you clean it off with alcohol so any sticky residue isn't adhered to it. Now, because this is a trainer, we're going to go all the way into the furthest in hole.
It's facing this way? Yeah.
It leads us not to really have to do much dialing in on our radio. Grab this and rotate it 90 degrees, and it's in. Now, where we move the servo is going to depict where our center line is. You notice as I move it back and forth, the rudder moves.
Okay, so it looks like he's doing it like right about there. Also, which one is this going to be? Looks like he's doing his as rudder here. So I'm going to do it the same way. Hello, Jacob. Jacob Wheeler. Welcome to the stream. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, sorry. We're building the Flight Test Simple Cub. So I did a stream last night where we built the wings and the power pod. And tonight it's been the fuselage. It's pronounced Wooler? Okay, cool. Good to know. How you doing, Jacob? Yeah. Pretty dang cool to watch, really. Well, thanks for the feedback. That's good to know. You subscribe to the channel? Doing well. Just got back from pickleball. Dude, pickleball is awesome. We've got a little club that's like 5 minutes away from us, so that's pretty great. Let's see here. Gonna mount it back there, and I'm gonna cut this about here. That's where I'm gonna cut it. Actually, it doesn't really leave a lot left. If I'm mounting it back here. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cut this guy there. Gotta do a little bit extra just in case I'm wrong about that. Oh man, it fell down. Oh well. Now we take. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do is modified Z-bend. Nope, I'm not. I lied. We're gonna instead we're gonna open this nice little bag of linkage stoppers. If I can ever get this open. Dude, thanks. Great to have you. I'll be streaming tomorrow as well. So hopefully you'll be able to join. See ya. All right, see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Will do. Can we get some W's in the chat for Jacob? Yeah, W Jacob. Oh, okay, I gotta turn my remote on. There we go. Good W's.
Moves back and forth. And that's okay. We want to glue this servo exactly where everything is neutral. That way we don't need to use linkage stoppers, and we have a nice firm connection. The easier way to make sure that your surface is level is to take something hard and rigid and hold it on the back.
Yeah.
Shove it up against it.
Those linkage stoppers don't really fit very well.
I'm just gonna drop this back down in.
You kind of got to drill like really tiny holes for them. So we're not going to use them. And we're going to do his fancy Z-bend instead. Where did my line go? All right. So we're going to go ahead. All right, so how do we do this? We go down and sideways. So first the down. And then the sideways. There we go. Not the prettiest one I've ever done, but it'll do. Go ahead. Shove that guy through there. Ow. Beautiful. Yeah. Yee. Hey, and the nice thing about the way that this is being mounted, it's already going to be going the correct way. All right. Now that we know that that's the right way, we're going to take this, go ahead and scratch it up a little bit. Go doing it a little bit of a different way. Okay, that doesn't work at all. Get our servo nice and scratched up. Let me stick it back in. Take a little bead of glue. Do that on the back. Take it to the side of the plane. Do it right about there. And we just wiggle around a tiny bit. Make sure that's nice and straight. And we hold it there. Pull it back a little bit. Yeah. Let that sit for a minute. I did do it a tiny bit crooked, but that's fine. It's rotating this way, and then I'm going to do it this way. So, yeah, that's fine. It's just a tiny bit off. Oh, there's way too much movement there, but it'll be fine. I can tune it out later. Yeah, look at this. Check this out. And I'm gonna go ahead and trim that just a little bit because it's a little too long, and it'll get in the way of other stuff. Beautiful. All right. All right. So I think I'm gonna do this next step, and then I'm gonna be done.
Center up my servo. You notice in the back, 1/8 of an inch below the top ridge. That's going to give enough room for my power pod to slide out. There we go. But not be so high that it rubs into the wing. We'll do the exact same process on the other side. We're going to bend straight down. Just kind of save your finger to grab something hard. Now, if you're uncomfortable making Z-bends, we saw a really great tool that works just like a pair of pliers, and it crimps the perfect Z-bend every time. It's wonderful. And just cut this a little bit short so it doesn't interfere with the other side. And in this case, I need to remove that sticker. So when I remove the sticker, clean it with alcohol, step it aside.
Okay, I'm pretty sure this is elevator. Yep.
If you're more of an advanced pilot, you can go to the middle or even the furthest out one. Just keep in mind, if you go to the furthest out one, you may need to go to a conventional Z-bend, so your wires don't touch. Same process as before. We're going to find our center point on the back of the elevator. Right about there. Take a mental note where it is. Once you're happy with the spacing.
All right. So now we're going to go ahead. We're going to trim this guy a little bit short, so it's not really in the way. Bada bang, bada boom. And we take. It's right there. So now we go ahead and make sure this is the right spot, and we. Where did my? There it is. Bend this down. Bend it a little bit more. Then we do another bend here. It's a little ugly again, but that'll be fine. And we're going to got it about that short. Nice. Nice. Scrape this guy up. Take this guy, slide it on here. Let me figure out where this is supposed to be. So right about there. Yeah, right about there's perfect. Hush. So then we take our glue, do a nice little bead right there. And we glue this guy on. It's a little too high, so we're gonna pull it forward just a tiny bit. And that is just about right. Ah. What? Ah. No, stop. There. Chill. Cool beans. Now I let that dry for a minute. Yeah. Beautiful. I had a piece that was supposed to measure how far those are supposed to go, and I don't know where it went. Also got a few metal pieces in here. Where'd that little piece go that I needed? Well, I don't know where I put it, but oh well. It's fine. Yeah. Look at that. Beautiful. Thanks. All right, so while we're at it, I'm just going to go ahead. And no, I shouldn't do that. I was going to say I'm going to set them on max travel, but then I realized that was kind of a stupid idea. Because then I would go to fly it and everything would be so unbelievably sensitive that it wouldn't even be funny. So I'm going to try and find that little gauge that I'm looking for. Because I don't know where I put it. It's a little piece of foam board, so I wouldn't be too surprised if I threw it away. Doesn't look like it's in there, so it's somewhere around here. I really need to keep the space a little neater. So anywhere on here? No? Cool. I had it earlier when I was working on the wings, but now it does not seem to be here anymore. Okay, well, we got that done. Where did that piece that had it in it go? Oh, man. That's not it. Oh, wait, it's still in the foam board. We good. There we go. All right, now we can mess with this a little bit. And then end the stream. Okay, so we're going to want this on low rates for now. Okay, that's the right way both ways. Okay, well, I just didn't talk for like a few minutes right there, so that probably means it's about time for me to go to bed. So thank you guys for joining my stream. I'll probably be doing another one tomorrow night around the same time. See you then. Bye.